Welcome to This Week in Washington for Friday, February the 10th. Throughout the week, as you know from my updated emails, as well as what we've been putting on the reauthorization central portion of our website, most of this week's time has been consumed in dealing with both the House and Senate versions of reauthorization. We feel that progress was made this week on the Senate side when Senator Baucus on the Finance Committee turned back an attempt made by Senator Hatch to include legislation on energy similar to the House bill in the Senate finance portion of the Transportation Revenue Bill. Essentially, what has emerged is enough revenue to meet our obligations to both highways and transit without disrupting the Transportation Trust Fund by removing transit. It maintains us where we have been. Although that happened, we have other members who are Republicans going to attempt other amendments this week on the Highway and Transportation Bill dealing with the health care controversy relative to contraception. We've had the contraception issue emerging as something to be attached to the highway bill in a way like the energy drilling bill in the House and the federal pension issue that the House attached to the transportation bill. It's interesting that both of these efforts have become things that might be germane to the bill when, based on our experience, when we tried to attach stronger legislation on coordination during the last reauthorization, we were told that that was extraneous and not germane to the bill. So it does seem, along with everything else in Washington the last couple of years, the definition of what's germane to transportation legislation has also changed. So you'll be seeing more on this in the week ahead, and I would continue to urge you to look at both our website as well as look for updates from us, me directly and in FastMail, that will continue to address ongoing discussions in these critical areas. As we get closer to the end of February, the deadline on the tax extension for the payroll tax, the deficit and budget information has to be resolved. At the same time, the administration is planning to release its federal budget for 2013. Again, it's hard to imagine how all of these things can come together in a way that progress can be made on any of them, considering the extremely divisive nature of relations in the House and Senate. I don't think there is a very good chance of resolving enough of these to actually pass a reauthorization bill, and I hope that we will at least be able to continue to maintain current services and programs should a simple extension, as we've seen in the last year, be needed in this environment. So my advice to you this week, and what we'll continue to do next week, is still pretty much the same. We're going to stay watchful in what issues are emerging and what's developed, and we're going to continue to work with Congress and to strongly work with others who support our views on protecting the investments that are already made in transit. And as I said to our colleagues at APTA earlier this week, even though we're fighting to maintain the trust fund, we are still not abandoning our ideas or goals that the revenue in general being proposed in the continuation in the Senate and whatever the final number is in the House is still insufficient to meet the needs of the American people. And as we look at headlines that say gasoline could cost as much as $5 a gallon by this summer, that we need a robust investment in public transportation. If anything, the current debate gives us an opportunity to again raise that issue. And you can be sure that we're going to continue to talk about that as the issue and date progresses to the coming crises in February and March, and the emerging energy crisis that will be hitting American consumers who drive this summer. So stay tuned. Several of you have been of major help to us this week in responding to specific issues we've asked you to help with. Many of you will be hearing from us for similar reasons next week. So stay tuned. We're continuing to work on this, and I hope that we'll be able to convince Congress that doing the right thing for highway and transit investments is really what they ought to be doing, and not engaging in using our legislation for extemporaneous and extraneous information that is making it even harder to address the real mobility needs of the American people. Thanks. I'll be in touch soon. Have a great day and have a good weekend.